Good evening. It is April 1st, 2025. This is my weekly A Course in Miracles and Tibetan Dzogchen Zoom meeting, 7 to 8 Eastern Daylight Time. For those we were just talking about this, can't attend live, I recorded and I put it on YouTube, but it surely makes a difference for me, for those that can be here, and people in the meeting say it actually makes a difference. Because our energies, our prana energy, our light, our spirit extends out, and it has a synergy, a multiplying effect that I don't even know what the number is, that helps us have insights and unveil things out of our unconscious mind. It's just very miraculous. So welcome, God Barbie. Welcome, God Ed. Welcome, God Danelle. Welcome, God Jerry. Welcome, God Terry. Welcome, God Leon. Welcome, God Julia. And then, and those that see this on the video later, I invite in Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, and the enlightened beings to help us have our insights today and guide me what to do or say, and help those that see the video later with insights that can help them awaken from the illusion they've ever been incomplete, apart, or separate from this divine source. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. And of course, I invite in Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, and the enlightened beings to be here, guide me what to do or say. And when I was in just now brushing my teeth, because I sit in the afternoon I print out the teaching and then I sit with it and I'm reading. I read in the course about what Jesus is talking about, the circle of purity. I make notes, and then it just all kind of settles, and it just helps in the flow of what's going to come up. But anyway, so I'm brushing my teeth and the message came through. I'm supposed to express that this is literal. Things I'm talking about tonight are literal. They're not just words, like this circle of purity, this white circle that formed in my mind. It did that so that I could then talk about this and share that, even though you haven't seen a circle of purity, I sure as hell have never had. I've just read about it. It's for real. Now, and what also is for real is the name of my teaching tonight was a white circle of purity was drawn in my mind to show me my mind was being transformed to holiness and my body was being sanctified, like Jesus says. When I researched the course for tonight's teaching, I found a paragraph in Workbook 157 that says the body will be sanctified. Now, give me a break. Whoa, baby. I mean, now just think about purist Course in Miracle teachers. They don't even want to talk about the body, let alone it's going to be sanctified. I'm here to tell you it's true. And transformation is true. Now, I never really used those words before, because the bottom line is this Christ nature, Buddha nature, God nature is our divine birthright. That's our nature. It's just veiled by these thoughts and obscurations, and then mainly by the thought that we're a body, the belief that we're a body, a separate self, separate from all the images you see on the screen. That's the main belief. It's a habitual pattern. It's one of the hardest ones, I put it in the email, that I've had to break. And so it varies for everybody, but anyway. So I didn't use the word transform or sanctify. Didn't even know the word was in the course, but it's true. So what happens as we do our practices and meditate, our breath work, the light work you do, the mind is transformed from that small mind to this higher consciousness, this higher Buddha, Christ, God nature. And then that body so is sanctified. I'm going to read this because it was just so bizarre to me. Work with 157 now and see I got my little summary notes. And Terry was commenting, what was so nice is that I just kind of go with the flow. Sometimes things I just kind of go, oh, wait a minute, let me look for that, or I can't find it. Well, that's living this life from out from under the judgment of ego that you've got to be perfect. You just can't make any effing mistakes. You got to control all this stuff that's going on. You got to keep all these balls juggled and have them fall in a certain pattern. No, no. Now I tried that too, folks. Don't get me wrong. But I was a type A personality, all those things, I was a business owner with my husband. I've been through the ringer like most of you all as well. So it's this personality beliefs. But anyway, I digress. Other than we learn to be in the flow, leave it as it is, and spontaneously present. I didn't know what all that meant, but I'm relaxing into it because I just feel more confident, and I feel more confident and secure because that root chakra opened up. And I could have never said this to you because I didn't know the significance of these light centers, these chakras. And a lot don't talk about those, but because I've experienced it, I incorporate it now in my teaching because the root chakra, the solar plexus, and the sacral chakra, those are the ones of the physical world, so to speak, kind of, although the others are too, but they get opened. They get opened by the breath work and your practices. But anyway, the root chakra open, there's a ground there, folks. It's called the groundless ground. I got that out of Dzogchen. And that really helped me because then when you place your feet on your floor in your house or even out on the earth, you can simply stop and think. There is a groundless ground of holiness that is your true way to walk and feel. It's there. And then when I was reading in the course, I'm going to get back to what I was going to say. There was a place where the ground showed up. And then in A Course in Miracles, and I'll probably come here. I hadn't really thought about the word ground in the course, but it's there. If you search the course, you'll find it. This groundless ground is the place of purity, that this circle came out of a hole or a point in that groundless ground. But anyway, but now what I wanted to share with you is this lesson 157 to read about that. And then I got to go through my little pages because my note. Seven. Here it is, page 9. Because this is also telling me what to do and for you all to do. From this day forth, your ministry takes on a genuine devotion and a glow that travels from your fingertips to those you touch and blesses those you look upon. A vision reaches everyone you meet and everyone you think of or who thinks of you. See, that's what happens even for all of you. You all touch all these people that come into your space or you think about. Anyway, for your experience today will so transform your mind that it becomes the touchstone for the holy thoughts of God. So transformation means we're transforming from this egoic small mind to being, thinking, relaxing with big M mind, the big God, Christ, Buddha mind. Your mind is being transformed every day, many, many times during the day. And you're not, that's the other thing the Holy Spirit wanted me to share. You think nothing's happening, but it is. Because if you look back on even 2 months, 6 months ago, you would have been reacting on things much longer and at a bigger intensity than you're doing now. That means your work is working. So don't let ego beat you up about this stuff. Why can't you get it faster? You're not getting this fast enough. Why can't you be peaceful all day long? Well, that you just let that thought is, those are just thoughts. You let those thoughts just come and go without attaching to them or push or resisting or pushing away, meaning, yeah, we identify them as bad. I don't want that thought. Why is that thought coming up? Because again, then that's like a dung ball. That's like the beetle that's taken one thought and then shoving it in the manure to make a bigger ball. And we're just doing thought after thought. You know, I love that. That came up too. Isn't that a great symbol? We're just making dung balls, versus the six senses in the pre-separation Garden of Eden state, they're all open. That's why in sky gazing meditation it said, open eyes, open ears, open nose, open mouth, open throat, open heart, open, she always got to laugh, open anus, diaphragm, heart. We're talking all the openings. You think about it because you want them to be open instead of shut down with rigid thoughts or little walls or edges. Because just poof, you just relax, let that go. And that's beingness. When you do that, you've relaxed into your natural state. But anyway, these more, as you do your work, then more and more often everything stays open longer, and you're aware when your body contracts or you've gone on to glue onto some words to make the dung ball and you let go. Don't beat yourself up about the dung ball. You just let it go. Now, if the same dung ball showing up, then I recommend you journal it and you sit with that and go, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, God, God, God. And so, now raise your hand if I forget this, but I want to go back to 157, but this came up. Here is a YouTube comment that I put in the email. So I'm just going with the flow here, that came up and I replied to it, but here was the comment. This is somebody that's been practicing Course in Miracles. It feels impossible to make peace with the past, recalling all I put up with and taking it out on those I love, especially because the past is the reason my life looks as it does. Why is it so effing, she spelled it out, impossible to succeed in my life? The reality of my life is hell. Most often, I'm just being buried alive and trying desperately to escape. Now, in moments, we can feel buried. In moments, we can feel going off glued with that thought and feeling. So I'm just going to read my reply because this all just came straight out of the aware of its high mind part. To get relief, I recommend, if you do not have a daily meditation practice, to start one. The meditation that I practice is called sky gazing. Picture your Christ, Buddha, God mind as like the sky, which means it has no beginning and no end. During the day, the sky can be clear or have clouds or birds or planes flying in it. The sky does not reach out and grab the airplane, but that is exactly what we do with the images in our mind. We do not leave them alone to self-liberate. We reach out and push them away or grab onto them, called attachment or aversion. The nature of our Christ, Buddha, God mind is just like the sky, in that it has thoughts and feelings and sensory perceptions coming and going in its vast spaciousness that simply self-arise and self-liberate. I'm not kidding you, this is literal. If we leave them alone, these thoughts and feelings are created by our God mind. Nothing else created these things. God mind created the ego. It's all radiance of this God mind that's all powerful, and it can just make and create different things we call good or bad, but it's all God mind. These thoughts and feelings are created by our God mind for our amusement. See, here's the other thing, for our amusement and enjoyment. Most people don't recognize these things are for your amusement when you're going through hell, and enjoyment. Just sit back and watch the show go on while spontaneously responding as needed. In this meditation, you learn to become aware when your mind has wandered off to think about a childhood memory or current goings on, to bring your attention or awareness back to the center between your eyes to look at space, or bring your attention back to your breath, or it could be a candle flame, and start again meditating. Real quick, the mind will wander off and start thinking about a problem. Just bring your attention back to center, take a deep breath, and on the out breath, say a long ah, and start again. It's page 8. Let's see. What I'm describing to you will help you when you are off the meditation cushion, because this practice will start to awaken your Christ Buddha awareness to become awake of the true nature of your mind. See, that's the big problem. We don't know the nature of our mind. We don't know the nature of this mind is to create all those thoughts and feelings. That's its nature. And sensations, all these 6 senses, thinking, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, that's its job. But we don't have to go off with them. That's our choice. But anyway, let's see. Your job is to become aware of when you have agreed with the thoughts and feelings by ruminating about them. I love that word, ruminating. I mean, we just go over and over and over it, keep repeating the story, right? Getting another memory, another thought. And it's pretty funny to watch it happen. Wherever, sometimes when I go somewhere, I'll see some landmark, and before I know it, the mind had goes back to a memory about that landmark. Well, you just kind of giggle and go, okay, you just let that thought go. Anyway, this practice causes you to be able to let thoughts and feelings come and go during meditation and post-meditation. Also, I recommend you silently say, I love you to all your thoughts and feelings instead of hating them. It's called faking it while making it, meaning you don't feel loving towards these people or thoughts or emotions right now, but ultimately you will. This does not mean you have to be around the people or situations, but it's how you think about them that is important. Remember, it's not the cards we're dealt, but how we play the hand. I mean, that is so beautiful. Anyway, let's see, where was that? The unconscious mind believes everything you're thinking. That's what Jerry and I were talking about. I'm not kidding you. The unconscious mind believes everything you're thinking, saying, and doing is about you. So if you hate all those people and things, then your unconscious mind hates you, which attracts more of these hateful things to you. Yeah, true, right? I love you, I love you, I love you. You've got to become aware of, I put this in all caps, you have got to become aware of how you are thinking and immediately change to loving thoughts, or stop and think about green grass or the ocean waves going slowly back and forth to calm yourself. Is there a mindfulness group or meditation group you can join locally or online? The Course in Miracles book has a lesson a day for a year that's practiced, which helps you understand the workings of the mind and recognize the true nature of your Christ mind, which is tranquility and can bring you some relief. Isn't that all of us? I mean, bless her heart, or her or him, I'm not sure. Now, that brings up in that email, Deb Z, when she was facilitating that our daily meditation group, I go to that LA meditation group, Dzogchen meditation group. Let's find this. Here it is. Now, why I'm bringing this up is that transformation of the mind and the sanctifying of the body, that can't occur till we do our damn work, daily work. We can't have transformation just doing something once a day. it's integrating this to where we're thinking short moments repeated many times during the day and night, when you're in bed, when you wake up, etc. You all understand, but this is a constant repetition that I'm just reinforcing. And that's why one of the reasons y'all come here, because then we're reminded how we want to act, feel, and think about during the week, because we can go off course so easily. But anyway, so Deb Z quoted from this Andrew Holacek quote, and he was quoting another teacher, but it's about the headline is emotions don't bother us, we bother them. Isn't that good? Emotions don't bother us, we bother them. So when we have an emotion of whatever it is, it's just an emotion that will self-liberate if I leave it alone. But if I bother it, now what's bother mean? I start thinking about it. Don't you love that? Ruminating on it, reifying it. And again, it's making, and when I do that, I get place in my holy mind. I sit a little chair down there. Do all your visualization you want. Put a little chair there and set that little memory right on there. Then just ruminate. I mean, dang, that is just not. Do you want to give a place in your mind to these false egoic things that are not your true nature? But anyway, wait till you hear this. I thought it was so great. I asked her and she emailed it to me. And it's in the email I sent you. The name of this teacher that had this quote is called Ponlop, Rinpoche. Rinpoche, it means teacher, because you hear all these Rinpoches. Ponlop, this is Andrew Holacek. I forget if it's in a book or wherever this is. Ponlop Rinpoche says that fundamentally, emotions don't bother us, we bother them. If we let them blaze without our interference, they are luminous. The idea of, quote, disturbing emotions, end of quote, takes on an entirely different meaning in this light. So who's disturbing the emotion? I am, right? Do not try to be free of your emotions. Let your emotions be free of you. Stay with the emotion and stay in the present. Now, see, this is good. We're not going to push the emotion away. That's what I used to do. Deny it, repress it, push it. That's called aversion. That makes it stronger, and that it just keeps coming back versus love, letting it go, letting it be. But also breathing into it, like even our pain or wherever we're feeling pain or an issue, breathe in and out of that area, but breathe in and out of that emotion, let it be. But he says, stay with the emotion and stay in the present, meaning the present now. There's no time to add on all the commentary or rationalizations that feed the emotions. Oh, don't you love that? A commentary, right? And commentary or rationalizations. If we do that, we don't, if we if there's no time to add this stuff on, if we do that, we don't feed the emotion. He calls it, or the egoic reification. It dies a natural death. It self-liberates. Relate to the emotion itself, not the trigger. Proper relationship will not get rid of the emotion. It actually allows you to feel it more fully. Oh, seeing that cool? You let the emotion be and feel it. Let it feel it. You feel without resisting it. It will self-liberate. And catch your mind if you start labeling it, then let go, right? Relate to the emotion itself, not the trigger. Proper relationship will not get rid of the emotion. It actually allows you to feel it more fully. Emotion becomes more vivid and radiant when it's left undisturbed. It becomes more luminous and then it will self-liberate. But it's luminous because underneath it's created by the luminous light of your nature of mind, our nature of mind. But that's called emotions don't bother us. We bother them. The huge thing I've learned from Dzogchen is this letting thoughts come and go. I knew nothing about that. And just relax, breathe, smile. Let these thoughts and emotions come and go. And we just be. We just be. That means you've kind of leaned back and you're an observer. That's called the big A awareness, your Christ Buddha awareness. Sees these things, sees these thoughts, feels these emotions. And that's why the Son of God created the forms. It wanted to put its spirit inside this body so it could feel all these things. But when it was awake, it wasn't a problem. But when the Son of God fell asleep and thought he's a body, then all this duality of good and bad started. Of course, this is the separation. Now, let's see how we're doing. Oh, I got to speed it up here. So, um, so let's go on page 1. I giggle because I think of Terry telling me I'm poking around for page 1. Is this all kind of started and having fun with life, right? It's just having fun joking with you all, and when I talk to you or we text or you know, um, is just having fun with this as we wake up. Is I try to be open and spontaneous. And when I meditate, I don't know what's going to go on. So I'm simply reporting to you my experiences so that tonight's thing is for you to know they're literal. These things are literal that are Jesus is talking about. But anyway, let's see what I was doing here. It all kind of starts March 25th. When I was reading a quote in a book called Natural Radiance by that Lama Surya Das, and it's got a CD. Remember in the old days, CDs? There's a CD in the back, and I've been listening to that CD, and I forgot to find my notes. But it was 2 or 3 days ago. I was listening to that CD a couple times in one day. And today I listened to half of it. Wow. If you could find that book, Natural Radiance, and there's a CD in the back, or maybe an MP4 or whatever, it's 3 now. But in it, he goes through these 6 meditations of using, walking you through them. And in actuality, he explains Dzogchen, the crux of Dzogchen, which is the highest teaching besides A Course in Miracles. So in that book, there's a quote, just be a flow of pure energy in the infinite vastness of space. So I was reading that and I was going, oh, yeah, just be a flow of pure energy in the infinite vastness of space. Because see, that pure energy is this light or prana energy, but it's joined with the breath. But just be that, meaning just when you relax, you just can even visualize that light it's coming, that energy is coming from the inside of your body. It's just pictured like a straight tube. Just it's vibrating out, it's pulsating out. Just be with that, and it matches your heartbeat, excuse me, and you just get a feel. You're a pulsating light being. And in essence, that great ray, you stand or sit on an open lotus in the center of the universe. Now, what I'm talking about here is high teachings. I didn't know this stuff. That's where you put yourself in the center of the whole universe. Just picture a great ray. In that thing, you can picture it as wide as your body or wide as a lotus flower or a chair. You can stand there in this empty, clear light. It's clear light. Stand there, sit on the lotus, sit on a chair, lie down, lie in your bed. I don't know. You're in the center of the great ray tube or light, and you're radiating out your light and love. You don't have to know this. It doesn't have to have opened yet, but it's your reality. But it radiates. You see pictures of the whole universe. Just let your mind stretch, and that light is going all the way through there. But here's the bigger deal. The universe is your body. I never ever got what that meant, but it is. So you're in the middle, you're in the center of the universe, and your light and love is vibrating. The universe picture, the universe is really like your clothes, like a dress or a shirt and pants. It's like right, but it's more than just on your skin. It's going through your form because it's all this light and love is animating the universe. So the universe is your body. You're animating, you're a son of God, for goodness sake, and you're animating the universe. And then your heart is where all beings live because there's only the heart of God. We're not separate heart minds. There's only the heart mind of God. So all beings' heart mind is in that heart mind. Just that's that unification of this whole deal. There's not these separate bodies. These are just images, visualizations that are actually true. Of course, in the absolute, there's no form. The Garden of Eden was made for a play toy for the children. But when we're awake, it's all pure, holy. It's all holy, all pure. It's only our labeling that's made it incorrect. But anyway, I was sitting with all of that. And that's kind of how I meditate a lot of the time now. But then on the 26th, I've got to go faster here, is that when I talk about your body is in the center of the universe, in that pre-separation, before the separation of the Garden of Eden, the forms, every form had natural body. And even now, that's our natural state. Natural body means it's all got this breath and prana energy and light is flowing through every cell. That makes a natural body. Your heart and mind are joined to make a natural heart mind. It's beaten in union, and your breath and energy are that light energy are joined. It's all going in unison, folks. That's called natural great perfection. I never knew what that meant, but that's your natural state. That's how you can think of yourself. Of course, your spirit that's animating this form, but you got to, in your awakened state, you're embodied Christ, embodied Buddha. You embody all that. But anyway, that was going on. And then that was a Wednesday. And then Timo's meditation, sound healing occurred. I got to go faster here. Yes. During the sound healing, I just do my normal thing. I do prayers for people and the universe, the planet Earth, the countries, etc. But here's the deal. So then after that, I decided I was going to stretch my mind again because I learned something from David F. from our daily Dzogchen meditation group. He and I had a private Zoom conversation because I was asking him, what are these 10 directions that I read about, and I only know of 8, north, south, east, west, and the ones in between. He goes, the 10th one is a point that's above the north direction that's in this holy realm. The 9th is a point below the vast universe in the holy realm on the other 360 degrees south. So I decided I'd learned that from him the day before. So I thought, I'm going to stretch my mind. So I took my attention to my mind and I thought about the edge of my mind, or the edge of the universe. Well, how do I put it? I know I'm taking the edge of my mind that's no longer in the head or the skull, and I take it out to the limit of the edge of the universe, because that's this physical realm. And beyond that, is the vastness of God mind. It goes on and on and on. Right about there is this 10th point. So I saw it's kind of like a point or a little accentuated point, and I kind of looked for it, and my whole upper body started stretching. Up, 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 up. It went up, and then I couldn't open my mouth any further. My eyes were so stretched, I couldn't open my eyes. stretch, 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 stretch. Then I thought, oh, I'm going down to the ninth one. I went down to the ninth one and I was stretched downward, the mind. Then I thought, oh, I'm going to put them all together. So I put 9 and 10. I saw you, and think about it. The universe is just a thought in the Son of God's mind. It's not limited by distance or time. It's just a thought. So in your mind, just make a thought, or see in your holy Buddha mind, Christ mind, the universe. And then you see the vast space around it that continues on, continues on. But then you see all these edges that have all these directions. Then just, it takes a little bit, but you could do it. You just start stretching all these directions. You just stretch it. You're thinking about, you're stretching, stretching, stretching. Because seeing what you're doing, you're changing your thoughts about what the heck you are and the limit of your mind. And it's beautiful. So I did that. So after I did that, I decided to rest. So I sat there, I was sitting there just resting in that quiet, that's there. And I guess because it was quiet, I felt these I saw them. Then when I felt them, then I looked and I saw them. There were these little particles, and I'm not sure where they came from. When I felt them, they were kind of like around my neck. Then these teeny little particles, and I realized they're kind of like particles of dirt or dust or whatever. And they're settling. I'm not kidding you. They're dropping, they're settling, and they come down through my chest. And it's slow. I'm just watching this. They're settling and they come in my belly. Then they go through my belly to my pelvis and they settle below my pelvis. Now, remember, now below the pelvis is the groundless ground. Woo. And when I looked, the particles had made some layers of kind of like dirt, dust. They was just there. I'm just looking. And then all of a sudden, folks, this is so wild, is there was a point in the groundless ground. There was a point. It was like, and it's like a hole. It's a hole. And out of the hole, a white circle started, and it was like there were two sides. You know how a circle, it's got really maybe two sides. Well, there was like a hand with fingers on the left and on the right. And it was like pulling the two sides of this circle up. Slowly, this white circle came out of that hole. The bottom sides of it and came slowly up, 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 up. And then it joined in the top center. And I'm seeing a white circle. And I remember thinking, that's a white circle. and, and it's sitting upright. Picture if you got ground, it's sitting upright on the ground. Yay. Well, do you know, it took me maybe 4 days, I forget, this 4 days for I couldn't figure out what all that meant. Plus, I felt all out of sorts. I needed to rest more. My appetite was really different. And what I realized is happening is those particles are representing more thoughts. No telling of what, but what I think about is the self, the body. Oh, because I forgot to mention, this is important, as the particles were settling, my body, my head and my neck and chest was starting to lean forward as these particles were settling, and my torso wanted to collapse on my desk. But because I was in a Zoom meeting with my video cameras on, I didn't want to do that. So I just was aware of the limpness of my body and let it just be. But it wanted to collapse. So after this was over, I know, here's something I did know. Years ago in a Zoom retreat, that Lama Surya Das had talked about the collapse of a ridgepole. I never heard the hell of that word, but I think I've talked to y'all before about a ridgepole. But what it is, picture in a house in, let's say, olden days, with the roof that could have one support pole in the top of that to hold that roof up, right? Well, as the egoic self, thoughts and beliefs of the egoic self are let go of, which is a metaphor for the roof and that shell of a house, right? Within a shell of a body is let go of, the ridge pole collapses, and then the belief in the house or the house collapses, right? Well, that came to me what was occurring. That's why I thought about those particles are represented more thoughts that I was letting go of, that I was a separate self, a body, and which made me write in the email that one of the hardest habitual patterns, behavioral habitual patterns we'll ever let go is the belief that this is a body. We never put ourselves in harm's way, etc. I take care of my body, etc. Never walk out from a car, no, no, no. We take care of the form, but we're not that form. We're this spirit energy that's animating this form. But anyway, so then I searched the internet for Ridgepole Buddha. And here is what Buddha said. Through many a birth in samsara, see, samsara's hell, have I wandered. There's the word wandered. Then, of Course in Miracles, Jesus uses that too. We've wandered. We just wander around with thoughts and etc. Have I wandered in vain, seeking the builder of this house of life? Repeated birth is indeed suffering. O house builder, you are seen. You will not build this house again, for your rafters are broken and your ridgepole shattered. My mind has reached the unconditioned. I have attained the destruction of craving. And see what he's talking about. He's the one in his sutras and taught about this craving, this clinging, which is attachment, and the aversion is the pushing and to these thoughts and feelings. Okay, so that's the point of that. So I'm going to go on because I want to read the part about, let's see, that's page 2. Put that aside. So when, the body, I want to talk about what this represents. So the two sides of the circle, why Holy Spirit did this, that he took like two sides and took them up simultaneously, evenly, all together. It took them up together to join at the top, right? Why did he do it in two movements like that? What it came to me is he's showing us the union of this duality and the things that I teach and talk about, where that we have, when we fell asleep, we know the great ray got cut off, so it's not animating the form so powerfully. But more than that, the great ray feeds that central wind channel, that central channel that keeps all the chakras open. So without the wind channel open, the chakras aren't open. And then those two little side winds, which are yin and yang. I know this is pretty specific, but it's true. Those are the two forces that got separated. They used to be, when they're joined, they spiral around that central channel, real smooth, real even. But in separation, they're separate. They're not awakened and opened. But when in your awakening, yin and yang will rejoin. The heart mind will rejoin. The heart is not separate from the mind, only when we're asleep. That's why we practice things of empathy and compassion, because our usual mind and our ego heart's cold, hard, and I'm just going to take care of me, but heart and mind joining, then you think with loving thoughts, you hear with loving hearing, you see with loving seeing, you know what I mean? Heart and mind joins, breath and energy joins. all of this is joining of two-ness. It's really, so that's why it's important when you do your breath work, you take it 2 inches below the navel and you're bringing it in like belly breathing, not shallow breathing. And that's soothing and opening up your wind, the wind and energy that's flowing, wanting to flow through your body. Well, that's why why Holy Spirit had to come up together in two. But I want to read about the circle of purity. Circle of purity, the circle of purity. That whole paragraph. Where is it? Where Jesus quotes. Did I finish about the body be sanctified? Did I finish that, guys? Oh, I want to finish that. And then we'll go find that purity circle. This is in workbook lesson 157. For your experience today will so transform your mind that it becomes the touchstone for the holy thoughts of God. So your mind's being transformed. Now look what he says about your body. Your body will be sanctified today. Its only purpose being now to bring the vision of what you experienced this day to light the world. Your body gets sanctified. Oh, man. 3. Okay, we want to go. I've got in there some things about light. Oh, so that's page 4. Now we're going here. I want to here it is. Here's a circle of purity. This is in chapter 14, section 5, paragraph 11. Circle of purity. So see, that white circle is a circle of purity. Each one you see, you place within the holy circle of atonement or leave outside, judging him fit for crucifixion or for redemption. If you bring him into the circle of purity, you will rest there with him. If you leave him without, you join him there. Judge not except in quietness, which is not of you. Refuse to accept anyone as without the blessing of atonement and bring him into it by blessing him. Holiness must be shared, for therein lies everything that makes it holy. Come gladly to the holy circle and look out in peace on all who think they are outside. Cast no one out, for here is what he seeks along with you. Come, let us join him in the holy place of peace, which is for all of us united as one within the cause of peace. Whoa, all I'm wanting to express is you can picture this white circle, the edges of the circle are white, but in the middle there's a center. That center he's talking about here is we can bring people into that center, meaning you think of that person, picture that circle, and just bring them in there to call their name out and bring them into the circle. You don't have to believe it, but what you're doing, you're welcoming. We talked about this before, and I had no idea how powerful all this is. You can actually even say to yourself, I'm going to welcome in all human beings. I don't have to think about the number, just welcome them all into this circle of purity. Welcome all the animals into the circle of purity, etc. It's how you think that matters, because that's where, when the Garden of Eden was created, the circle of purity was what we all lived in. We were not apart from it. So now we think we're separate. We think, he says in that paragraph, we think we're outside the circle. We're not inside the circle in peace and tranquility. But anyway, and then I looked up the word circle, and there's a word for it called ENSO. And what it does, it symbolizes strength, elegance, the universe, the absolute, enlightenment. So this can be a powerful thing to add to your practice of seeing that white circle and welcoming people into the center of it. Don't hold them out separate. Oh, that inside that circle, inside the circle is that vast emptiness. Emptiness meaning wholeness, purity, fullness, completeness. Is when you bring them into the center, you're recognizing they're whole and complete and innocent. They've never, and you and them have never done anything to hold yourself outside the circle. Only in a thought have we done this. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, so I was watching the college basketball games. Sweet 16 basketball games. And I had all of this is a practice. So I realized I've got two favorite teams. Florida and Arkansas. My late husband went to the University of Arkansas. We'd watch, Arkansas games, etc. So I was watching the games, and I read a post. Let's see what that post is, if I can remember. Here was the post, and thank God you see there's no accidents. So I was reading a post, and it says, "Do not divide appearances being there and awareness being here. Let appearance and awareness be indivisible." Well, I had their appearances separate from holiness, from emptiness, from awareness, divine awareness. And as a result, I'd feel like I really recognized I had an expectation. So no matter how far we are along the path, the big deal is to recognize when we're having expectation. And I could tell I was a little tense because I wanted a certain expectation, right? So I realized what I was doing, and I let go. Took that breath in and went, let go. And I'd look at the players on the screen, and I'd think about, called Trefjed, you see through the form, and Jesus calls it looking beyond the flesh to the spirit that's there. Both are thinking of them as clear light of spirit. So I'd see through their forms to the clear light of spirit and see that the clear light of spirit was streaming through and animating all the forms. So it's called appearances, emptiness and form inseparable, or appearances and awareness inseparable. That means form and spirit are inseparable. They are in that circle of purity. They're not separate. Then I recognized I could enjoy the game more. And I was thinking about the people that were playing in the basketball game, that they were actually little individual gods playing out there on the basketball court. Now, that's A Course of Miracles. That's Dzogchen. We are all by our nature gods and goddesses, animated by this spirit clear light is animating these forms. But how do I think of you? Do I think of you as a body, or do I think of you as a god or goddess or spirit, clear light of spirit? So that then made me again recognize, when I'm off the meditation cushion, walking around, how am I looking at these forms, where then my vision sees that they're integrated with the clear light. There's not a separate form. Again, how we think of somebody is how we think of ourselves, right? So I did the YouTube comment, appearances, sanctity, transforming. Oh, here's a good one. So how those particles that were dropping or settling, how you can picture your mind. This helps me through the years to think of the mind as like a jar of water that has muddy water in it. The muddy part represents ignorance and confusion of what we are, and thoughts and beliefs, right? That's within this clear water. But the jar also represents my mind. And if I'm like a jar, if I'm shaking the jar, the particles cannot settle to the bottom. to show clear light, right? I'm keeping them all shook up. So that's the purpose of meditation and mindfulness, is to allow these thoughts and feelings to settle, to just be and settle. So what you're doing, you're picturing your mind is like a jar of muddy water that you're letting these egoic thoughts settle to see that clarity of clear light mind. It really is a beautiful, simple way to let things be, just to let them settle, which is very simplistic and something I did not do in my years of practice until recently. I was always doing something with the thoughts. Now, before it's time to end the group. So any thoughts or comments before I close the meeting, stop the recording? And as y'all are thinking of that, welcome, welcome, and thank you. God Barbie, God Ed, God Terry had to leave, God Jerry, God Dee, God Danelle, God Julia, God Leon, God Corrine, God Glenda, all those else that are in our Sangha that aren't able to be here. All sentient beings, we give out any merit that we've learned here tonight or gained tonight, and we give it out to all sentient beings to help them wake up from the delusion they've ever been incomplete, apart, or separate from source. Now, any thoughts or comments? Jerry, unmuted.
Oh, yes, I just love that, making the dung bowls. Every time I go into those crazy thoughts, I'm going to think of that. Thank you. I know it's a
Yes.
negative thought, but it's good. Thanks.
Oh, no, it's not negative. To me, it's
Well,
called
it's not
realize.
negative, but
Yeah. Well,
but
this is the proper
it
use of
makes you laugh.
labeling. Yeah. It's the
It breaks that cycle.
Yes, it's the proper use of labeling, proper use of judgment, because you're called realizing or recognizing what you've done. And it's a wonderful practice to see that we're rolling a thought over a thought over a feeling, and we're making a bigger, like they call it a mole out of a mole, whatever they call it, out of a molehill. But this is really that dung ball. If you haven't Googled it, it will really make this an impression on you that we're rolling them, memories and thoughts, to make these balls and giving them a place in our mind, and actually just filling our mind full of these dung balls of manure, right? False egoic thoughts. Yeah. But in a heartbeat, that ball can settle out, right?
Mm,
Think back and think of that person as spirit, whatever that memory was you're thinking about. Spirit, God, I love you. And
love it.
even see that. That's what's great about this vision that was giving me, that I can share with you. You can see that these thoughts are dropping, physically dropping, literally physically dropping out of your mind, conscious and unconscious,
Mm,
so your mind can be clearer and clearer, unveiled to that clear spirit you are. It's just beautiful. Actual, literally dropping of these particles.
thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. People love hearing thoughts or comments about when they watch the YouTube video. Anyone else with a thought or comment? But I think of one. Dee's got a little grandson named Lucas, that little 2-year-old boy that I texted a picture of him. And I think it was last week or maybe the week before. He knows she and her husband babysit him, and he knows that she comes to this Zoom meeting sometimes. And so he went and got in bed a little bit before the time for this meeting and found her glasses, put her glasses on, was sitting in front of her iTablet, like he was going to attend the Zoom meeting. Isn't that sweet? I mean, we send prayers out to him to think he's with Dee, who's been practicing course for years, 2009. I've known of Dee. So thanks what you're doing. And Danelle's a nurse, so she's sharing this with all her patients without telling them what she's doing, sending them light and love. Julia does her work that way. Each of you are doing this light work. Leon, when he goes out there to help people, his friends or neighbors, Corrine, we all do it. Ed does it. Jerry does it. Everybody, Barbie does it. Just pat yourself on the back, not out of pride, but you're doing the work. Every time you think of someone as their holy nature that they are, unbelievable amount of clearing that does for you and them. It's beautiful, beautiful. Any other thoughts or comments? Now, I should take a moment, let you all, each of you, go around the screen. This is what's powerful about this, and practice your advanced forgiveness. How you're thinking of these people. Go around, it only takes a second. Go around the screen on each of these people before I stop the recording. It's just magnificent to think this way. That's the highest teaching, highest thing you can do is think of someone as their true nature, which is spirit, the clear light of spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording. I'm gonna make sure I press the right button and we stay in chat for those that want to stay in chat.